Hey guys, welcome back to Filter Coffee Football. As you can see, no Karthik here today. He's a little bit caught up, but he will be back for the North London Derby. That's going to be an amazing fixture. Today we're here to talk about the results in Manchester. Well, a result in Manchester and a result for a Manchester club away from home. Let's start out with Manchester United versus Aston Villa. Now, this was an incredible match. Manchester United, for all intents and purposes, was supposed to win. That's why I had my fantasy team set up the way it was, and that was not a good idea. Luke Shaw hauled off early on for an injury. You never want to see that happen to any player, especially for a player who's been so good recently for Manchester United, even if he might be struggling for a little bit of form right now. And not to mention, Harry Maguire was taken off later on as well for an injury of his own. Now, not only did that take two absolutely crucial players for United off the pitch, it also took two substitutions away from Oli. So I do get where he did have less options to pick from. But in all honesty, at home in front of a packed stadium, this Manchester United side should have already been in the winning position by the time Harry Maguire had to be taken off the pitch anyway. The fact that they weren't in that place just points down to A, how good Aston Villa are, and B, Manchester United's abysmal home record. For a club like Manchester, they just have been really bad at getting those results at home, which is sad because they clearly seem to have the away side of it quite well and shored up. There were a few places where the blame can be allocated. I mean, they had 13 shots from inside the box and yet nothing to show for it. Mason Greenwood was definitely very wasteful in possession, probably should have come off as a substitute in the match. Edinson Cavani was brought on when United really needed more of a creative presence than anything else. I believe Jadon Sancho should have been a part of this substitution thinking for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because really, Ronaldo is not effective when he's getting the ball in positions where he cannot threaten the goal directly. And Jadon Sancho is one player that they had on the pitch which could have increased the odds of Ronaldo getting to the ends of crosses. But for whatever reason, that decision was not made. Ronaldo, like I said, does not look quite as effective when he's anywhere away from the 6 yard of the penalty box. And at this match, Aston Villa were just able to keep him at bay quite effectively. They got their own goal right from a corner at a near post header. I mean, amazing result for House, who was, I believe, in the team because of some fitness issues in the Villa defense. What a way to make your way into the team, and that's an amazing result for Aston Villa. We said that they were really good against Chelsea, and the result really belied their actual performance. This was a result that they probably should be proud of, and this was more accurately represented as to how good Dean Smith is as a manager. Going away to Old Trafford in front of a packed stadium was never going to be easy, but they made it work. They got the win, and Manchester United had the one opportunity to try and make it level, and they messed it up. That was a big question going into the season, who was going to be taking penalties, and the first opportunity that we got to see that, up stepped Bruno Fernandes. Of course, there was a lot of shithousery going on in there by Emi Martinez, which I believe may have thrown Bruno Fernandes off by an extent, because he really skied that penalty. Cristiano Ronaldo will be breathing down his neck come a penalty decision next time around, and I think the fans are going to be breathing down Ole's neck if this kind of result holds, because this was really the kind of result that kept United from being title contenders last season, and this was the first time so far this season that it has happened. But if it continues, it's just going to look really bad on him, because he has a team now that really should be competing on all fronts. They're already out of the EFL Cup, probably the least prestigious trophy, but still a trophy nonetheless. And with a start off with a loss in the Champions League, the pressure will be on for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The league is really tight, and this loss maybe was their opportunity to steer clear of the opposition, especially given the fact that Chelsea lost and Liverpool were held to a draw against Brentford, and United really have wasted that opportunity. So next round of fixtures is going to be really hard for Ole, and if they kind of sail through that, there might be some light at the end of the tunnel. But yeah, tough ride going forward. Anyway, moving on to the blue side of Manchester, Pep's team walk away with an absolutely dominant performance against Chelsea. Thomas Tuchel's sides, I don't know what was going on with this Chelsea team today. They were set up in a more defensive formation, I felt. Very unlucky that Reece James got injured early on in the game. Probably one of their only real creative outlets in that starting 11. You could maybe argue that Alonso offers some sort of creativity from the left, and Kovacic with his pressing can create some things. But really, Reece James was honestly the only player on the pitch that they really had any sort of option to create from. Manchester City were really easily and effectively taking Lukaku and Timo Werner out of the game. I mean, that Chelsea attack barely had a sniff. They had 5 shots with none on target. This was probably one of the easier fixtures for Edison to be goalkeeping in, and I don't think he was prepared for that. The goal came off with a lot of good work from Gabby Jesus, but also some sloppy defending on the part of Jorginho. I wouldn't hold him too guilty for that, but at home against your title rivals, Chelsea as a team should have really performed a lot better under those circumstances. I feel Thomas Tuchel deserves credit for his proactive changes in the previous results, and so he does deserve the blame for not making similar changes in this game. Chelsea were clearly pegged back right from the first whistle all through the first half. The second half started with no different. It's only after they conceded the goal that he decided to make a change. That was when Chelsea started to create maybe a little bit more. They got a goal scored, which was chalked for offside. But that was a sign of things to happen. But they just left it too late. They had the opportunity to steer clear of the competition, because even with Liverpool winning, Chelsea would have really still stayed at the top of the league, despite having gone through 3 really tough teams in Spurs, Liverpool and Manchester City. So this doesn't really hurt their chances, but it does make the playing field a lot more level. Manchester City will be hoping that this is a sign of things to come, because that Southampton draw was really dry. And this was just a completely different team. They were dominant, they were pressing, they just had so much more drive in them. And Pep will be hoping that this is the Manchester City that goes on and plays through the rest of the season. Phil Foden again, absolutely immense for the team. Created 4 chances, the most in the team, and just as many chances as Chelsea created as a whole team. And Bernardo Silva with his work rate was absolutely insane. Kevin De Bruyne is still trying to find his feet, and once he gets clicking, this City team will really be a side to be reckoned with. Who needs a striker? They just create so many chances anyway. They probably should have won this game by 2 or 3 goals, so they do need to work a little bit on their finishing. But if this is how they're going to perform against a Chelsea side, which up until this point seemed like clear title favourites, well, this title race is definitely not over just yet. But yeah, those are our fixtures for this weekend. We still have a couple more matches that we are going to review. Definitely that Liverpool result versus Brentford. Where did that come from? And the North London derby that's going to be played tomorrow. Really hoping for an Arsenal win on that one. But yeah, please like, share, subscribe. Help us grow as a channel. All your input is always welcome. And thank you so much for tuning in today. And hope you keep tuning in. Also follow us on Instagram at FilterCoffeeFooty. And yeah, see you next time. Bye.